Yes, okay, students. Good evening to all of you. So, in this class, we will discuss the remaining points that we left in the morning session. That is about significant figures. So, without wasting our time, see, there are some rules are there to write the significant figures. Let us see what are the rules. Is it audible, Nana? Students? Everything fine, no? First rule, all the non-zero digits are significant. Whatever the number is present means it is a significant number. Okay. Next, second rule is all the zeros that are present between two non-zero digits. See, this 0 is present between 1 and 8, so it is a significant figure. And this 0 is present between 8 and 8 and 6, so this is also a significant figure. If the 0 is present in between two non-zero digits, then that number is significant figure. Okay, remember that point also. Next, third rule, you see, third rule, all the zeros to the left of first non-zero digit are not significant. If you are having a number like this, in this number, the zeros which are to the left side of first non-zero digit, that zeros we should not consider. Those are not significant figures. But one more zero is there, this zero, which is present between two non-zero digits, so it is a significant figure. So here number of significant figures are 3. Okay. Next, fourth rule, you see, if the number is less than 1, means if the number contains like 0.001, 0.123, like that, if the number is less than 1, then zeros on the right of decimal point. For a decimal point, zeros will be there on the right hand side. We are talking about that 0. Zeros on the right of decimal point, but to the left of first non-zero digit are also not significant. See in this, these zeros are not significant because they are to the right of decimal point and to the left side of first non-zero digit. So these are not considered as significant figures, but this 0 is significant figure. Okay. Next, fifth rule, the traveling zeros means ending zeros. Traveling zeros in a number with a decimal point are significant figures. Clear? Yes, see in this 0 is not a significant figure. This 0 is significant figure because it is present between two non-zero digits, and one more 0 is there, last ending 0. This ending 0 will become a significant number if there is a decimal point in the number. Okay, the traveling zeros, 0 to the right half last non-zero digit called as traveling zeros. That traveling zeros in a number with a decimal point are significant. Okay, so 180 is there. This 0 is significant, but these 3 zeros are not significant, like that. Okay. Next, one more point about traveling zeros. The traveling 0 in a number without decimal point are not significant. Important point. If there is no decimal point, there is no this decimal point is not there, then the traveling 0 is not significant. Okay. For example, 0 1 0 1 0 0. In this, these two are not significant. However, this is also not significant, but only this one, and this one. This middle 0 is significant because this middle 0 is present between two non-zero digits, but these two zeros are traveling zeros, but the number is not a decimal number, so they are not significant, and this is also not significant. So these three are the significant. These dots, what I am keeping, these dots are significant. These are significant numbers. Okay, clear? Yes. Next, rule 7. See, when a number is expressed in exponential form, if any number is there, if you represent that number in exponential form, then exponential term is not affect the number of significant figures. For example, if we take 12.3, how many significant figures are there? 3. This one we can represent like this. 1.23 into 10 to the power of 1. Can we write? Yes. This is also having 3 significant figures. This we cannot consider as significant figure. This still we can write it as 0.123 into 10 to the power of 2. This is also having 3 significant figures. This exponent doesn't have any significant figures. Okay. Clear, students? Yes, this rule. These rules are important. You need to remember, because sometimes NEET students, they may ask you to find out number of significant figures in a given number. Okay, they will give you one number and they will ask you to find now how many number of significant figures are there in that number. So these rules, once you read, you will understand clearly. Okay. Okay, let us see some examples. And after that, one more important point is there, Nana, that is while doing arithmetic operation. This point is important for JEE students and NEET students also. This point is important, Nana. See, when you are doing addition or subtraction, you will get one result. That result, how many significant figures you have to represent? That is a question mark. Okay, means integer type questions they will ask you in JEE. So there it will be useful, or sometimes options will be 0.1, 0.11, like that options will be there. Which option is to be correct? That can be decided by these two rules. Listen carefully. When doing addition or subtraction, the number of decimal places in the final result should be equal to, how many number of decimal places should be there in the final result? That should be equal to the number of decimal places of the term operation which contains less number of decimal places. You are having two numbers with some decimal places, and with the two numbers you are doing addition or subtraction, let us suppose. So final result, how many decimal places it should have? The final number should have the decimal places which are equal to less number of decimal places for which number is there, that many decimal place, that many decimal places. Means for example, you take here, see example I have given, means it is there here 12.587 one number and 12.5. okay, if you subtract these two, what you will get, Nana? A 0 0. You will get 780.00. Yeah, so means you will get 0.087 is the number. Now whether this is correct or not, we need to check. So while you are checking, you are having two numbers. One is 12.587, another one is 12.5. Now your final result should have, this final result should have the number of decimal places which is equal to, among these two, which is having less number of decimal places. This is having less number of decimal places. Means number of decimal places in the final result should be 3. I'm sorry. How many are there? One is there, no? One decimal place. After decimal point, one digit is there, no? Oh, sorry. One decimal place is there, no? Here also this final result should have one decimal place. Means we need to round it to one decimal point. How? Because this is 7. We can neglect it and we can write it as 0.09. And still it is 9. We want only one decimal place. So it can be written as 0.1. So your final result should be 0.1. It is not 0.087. It is not 0.087. It is 0.1. I hope you understood this point. Here, I'll give you one example. Okay, let us see how many of you will solve that example. Okay, yes, here is your example, Nana. See students, I am giving you two numbers, some 15.824 and 2.32. If you subtract these two numbers, what will be the result? First, how many decimal places should be there in the result? You need to do what? You need to do subtraction. You need to do subtraction. Okay, or addition also you do. Addition or subtraction, you should have in the final result, you should have only 2 decimal places. So let us subtract this. We'll get 15.824 and 2.32. If you subtract, this will be 4, this is 0, this is 5.31, means 15.504. But your answer should be 2 decimal places only should be there, means this 4 number we should drop, means your final result should be 13.50. 13.5 and it is 13.50. 2 decimal places should be there, no? See here, 2 decimal places are there. Here 3 are there. So among these two, less number of decimal places are there. How many? 2. So 2 decimal places should be there. And 4 can be dropped directly. Okay. So like this. Next, let us suppose if you are doing multiplication. Let us suppose if you are doing multiplication, what will happen? Let us check. When we are doing multiplication, see, you need to remember, in multiplication or division, the final result should have number of significant figures. The number of significant figures in the product or quotient is same as smallest number of significant figures. Smallest number of significant figures in any of the factors. See example here. 2.4, one number, if you multiply with 3.65, what you will get result? If you multiply this, you will get around, yes, I'll give you 2.4. 2.4 multiply with 3.65. 3.65. You will get 8.76. 8.76 is your result. But according to significant figures, because it is a product, in a product, the final result should have the number of significant figures such that among these two products, which number is having least number of significant figures, that many significant figures should be there. Now among these two, least number of significant figures are 2. So final result also should have 2 significant figures. So 2 significant figures means 6 we can drop. So when you are dropping the 6, because this number 6 is more than 5, we have to add 1 to 7, means it will become 8.8. So 8.8 is your final result because it is having 2 significant figures. I hope you understood this point. Clear, students? Okay. I think so. You got this point. Okay. Yes. Now with this, let us solve some questions here. Yeah. See here. See here. Some questions are there. Small questions. Yeah. In this, how many significant figures are there? 3. In this, again 3, because this 0 is significant figure because it is present between 2 non-zero digits. Next, in this, how many significant figures are there, Nana, in this C? Don't see downside. 5 are there. Why? Because these are traveling zeros in a number which is having a decimal point. So these traveling zeros considered as significant figures. Next, in this, how many significant figures? Only 1. Okay, na? Next, in this, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 significant figures are there. Okay, na? Next, in this, how many are there? In this, only 3, because these two are not significant figures because they are traveling zeros. And in this, yes, this point is important. In this, how many significant figures are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are there. Here one doubt you can raise. See here, 26900. Here also 26900 only. Why number of significant figures are 3 here and 5 here? Because it is just the number, but this is representing a physical quantity. This number came from one measurement, particular measurement, nothing but kgs. So whenever you have added some unit to that number, then traveling zeros without decimal point also you should consider as significant figures. Point is important. This point is mentioned here. Just read that point. Okay. Next. About rounding of a number, it is, if the number is more than 5, then you can add one number to the preceding number by ignoring that number. Okay. Or if the number is less than 5, then you can directly ignore it. If the number is exactly 5, then what to do? If the number is exactly 5, you need to see preceding number. If the preceding number is odd, then we can add one number to that. If the preceding number is even, then without adding anything, you can neglect it. Yes, here it is the point. Rule number 3. If the digit to be rounded off is 5, then the preceding digit is increased by 1 if it is odd, and it is left unchanged if it is even. Means you are having 14.35. You want to round it off to 3 significant figures. Means we need to drop 5. What you need to do? See the preceding one. Preceding one is odd number, so it can be written as 14.4. That's it. But if you are having 14.25, then if you want 3 significant figures only, see preceding number is even, so directly you can drop it. Means your result will be 14.2 only, like that. Okay, these rules you need to remember, Nana. Okay. Yes. Next. Yeah. This is some examples you see. Yes. Here, see these points. It will be useful for you for your JEE exam. That's why I am explaining you. Okay. Yeah. See this point. First question. Round off the following numbers as indicated. 25.653 is there. You need to round it off to 3 digits. Only 3 digits you need to round it off. How can you do this? You are having 25.653. 3 digits means up to 6 only you should want. You want only these 3. Okay. Because 3 is less than 5, we can drop it directly. Now you are having 25.65. Now 5 also we should drop, because 5 before number is even number, directly we can drop. So your answer will be 25.6 only directly. Okay. Next option B, you see 4.996 into 10 to the power of 5. 3 digits you want. Option B, see, you want only 3 digits. Okay. So here 10 to the power of 5 don't consider. Okay. This can be written as 4.996. 6 drop it. So it will become 1, add 1 to this. It will become 10. Means it will become 10. Means it will become 5.00 into 10 to the power of 5. So 3 digits are there, like this. Okay. Here. Yes. Next. Let us go further. Yeah. What is accuracy and precision? Just once you know about this, accuracy means nothing but, accuracy is nothing but, if for example you are having one true value and you have done one measurement, that measured value, how much close it is to the true value, that we call it as accuracy. And precision is nothing but, to what extent, means up to what decimal points you have taken that measurement, that is called as precision. Okay, clear? For suppose, if you want with one example, let us take for example, you are having something, one number 1.234, this number is there. If your measured value is, uh, 1.55 and 1.23222, sorry, two numbers, let us take 1.22 and 1.222. 5 2 3. This is the true value. Now among these two, which is more accurate? More accurate is this one, but more precise is this one, because number of digits are more. That is the difference. Okay, clear? Once you read this one, you will understand. Yes. So quickly let us go to errors. Yes, students, just once you go through with these points, Nana, errors. What are instrumental errors, environmental errors, observation errors, and what are random errors? Just to read these all points. Okay, and how we can erase this, means how we can control these errors, you have to read Dana. Okay, what are gross errors, how we can find? Yes, now, so these all points: absolute error, relative error, percentage error, already we are having some idea on that. Okay, now propagation of errors in the mathematical operations. Yes, this is the point, important point for you. Okay, on this topic every year we are getting questions now. Yes, important topic. Okay, yeah. See, for example, you are having something, one relation, that is x is equal to a plus b or a minus b. Then percentage error in x, there is nothing but delta x by x percentage can be written as delta a by a plus delta b by b. Nana. When x is a plus b or a minus b, remember this. Okay, next, rule number 2, you see, this is rule number 1, Nana. You need to remember this rule. Okay, next, when x is equal to ab, it is like this. Then percentage error, delta x by x is nothing but delta a by a plus delta b by b. Again same percentage, if you want, means percentage, like this. Okay, and when x is equal to a by b is also is there. When x is a by b, then also your delta x by x value will be delta a by a plus delta b by b only. Okay, see here. Okay, na? These rules you need to remember. So on these rules we will get some questions. One more rule is there. Yes, so these rules, rule number 3 is very important. See students, rule number 3. Yeah, see this rule. When x is equal to a power n, then delta x by x will be nothing but this n will come in front, n multiply with the delta a by n. Okay, next, when x is equal to a power p, b power q, c power r, if it is like this, then delta x by x can be written as p into delta a by a, yes here, plus q into delta b by b, plus r into delta c by c. We will write like this. Very important point, you need to remember this. Next, this is also when x is equal to a power p, b power q, c power r, again you will get same answer, same formula. These 3 formulas are important for you to solve the problems. Okay, now on this topic let us solve problems. Very important. This is only main objective. Our objective is main, this only, on this only. Okay, clear? Yeah, so let us take some examples on this. Yeah, where it is, one example we will solve, then we will go to exercise. Okay, yeah, this one, first one will take now. This illustration, yeah, 13, example 13, let us take. See here they have given, if a value is 8 plus or minus 0.08, means a value is given 8 plus or minus 0.08, means that is nothing but this is in the form of a plus or minus delta a, means here a exact value is 8, delta a absolute error in a value is 0.08, that is the meaning. Okay, and b value is given 6, b value is given 6 plus or minus 0.06 means B value is 6, delta B value is 0.06 nana. Clear? Now let us do an operation which is A plus B, x is equal to A plus B. Okay, now let us do an operation x is equal to A plus B. Means when x is equal to A plus B, means what we need to do, students? A plus B, no? Yeah. So what is A value, B value? First add. A value is 8, B value is 6. Both you add. 8 plus 6, how much, Nana? 14. In the same way, delta A plus delta B also we should add. Delta A value is 0.08. 0.08. Delta B value is 0.06. How much it is? 8 plus 4, 8 plus 6 is 14. Here, 1. 0.14. Okay. It is 0.14. Clear, Anna? Yes. So it can be written as in the form of x plus or minus delta x can be written as x value is 14 plus or minus delta x 0.14. Now in this absolute error how much? Relative error how much? Delta x by x can be written as 0.14 divided by 14. Okay. Clear, students? If you want percentage error into 100, you will get it is 1%. Error is 1%. Yes, see here it is mentioned. Okay, this point you need to be careful this type of problems once you practice this type of problems. Next, different types of problems. This is not required. And directly I'll go to questions. This list count vernier calipers also important, Anna. Let us go to questions. Here you see. Yes, this type of problems are important, Anna, for you. Let's see. 36. Question number 36. Try to solve this question, Anna. All of you. Try to solve this question 36. An experiment measures a quantity A, B, and C, and X is calculated from them as X is equal to A, B square by C cube. Okay. The percentage error in A, B, and C are 1%, 3%, 2%. Then what is the percentage error in X? Then according to third rule, whatever I have given there, that is delta X by X percentage error is nothing but here A power nothing is there, means delta A by A we can write, plus B power 2 is there, means it can be written as 2 into delta B by B we can write now, plus C power 3 is there, so it can be written as 3 into delta C by C. That's it. So percentage error in delta A how much? Percentage error in A is 1%. So 1% plus 2 times of percentage error in B. Percentage error in B is 3%. So 3% plus 3 into percentage error in C is 2%. 2%. So total is 1% plus 2 3 the 6% plus 3 2 the again 6%. Total is 6 plus 6 12. Sorry, 6 plus 6 12 plus 1 13%. Yes, 13% is the right answer. Okay, clear? So this type of questions you may get. Okay, regularly this type of questions are coming, Nana. You should not neglect these questions. Okay, and some theory questions also they may ask, sometimes you need to be very careful. Okay, next see here, let us take 45, question number 45. Let us check. Let us take this question. So what they may ask you, see in this, yeah, question number 45. Question number 45. The percentage error in the measurement of mass and speed are 2% and 3%. Means in the measurement of mass, delta m by m percentage is given as 2%. And speed, they said, speed means delta V by V percentage is how much, Nana? 3%. These two they have given. How much will be the maximum error in the estimation of kinetic energy obtained by measuring the mass and speed? So kinetic energy percentage error, how much they are asking? We know kinetic energy is half mv square. This half is number, no need to consider. Okay, then by second rule we can write delta k by k can be written as delta m by m plus this v square is there, so 2 times of delta v by v we can write, but delta m by m is 2% given, so 2% plus 2 times of delta v by v is 3% given, 3%, 2 3s are 6, 6 plus 2 8%. So percentage error in the measurement of kinetic energy is 8%. Option 2 is right answer. Yeah, this type of questions, Nana. Okay, practice this type of questions. Next, you take a question number 46 also. Let us take question number 46. Yeah, see this question. What they have given? While measuring acceleration due to gravity by a simple pendulum, a student makes a positive error of 1% in length. Means in the length, delta L by L. Error how much, Nana? 1%. That would is positive error, they said. Okay. Next, and a negative error of 3% in the value of time period. In time period, delta t by t, there is a 3% of negative error is there, they said. Then what is the percentage error in the measurement of value of g? Then what is delta g by g error, how much? We know t is equal to, for a simple pendulum, t is nothing but 2 pi root L by g. We know this formula. Yes or no? Yeah. So 2 pi is a constant number. We can neglect it. Then we can write t is equal to root L by g. Then we can write t square is equal to L by g. Can we write? Yes. Now let us write a second rule for this. You can get t square is there. So you will get 2 times of delta t by t is equal to delta L by L plus delta g by g. Clear, students? So what you are getting? 2 times of delta t by t is equal to delta L by L plus delta g by g. What you want? You want delta g by g. This only you want, no? Yeah, this is you want. So it can be written as 2 times of delta t by t minus delta L by L. Okay. 2 times of delta t by t, how much? Minus 3%. Minus 3%. Minus delta L by L is 1%. 1%. So total minus 6% minus 1%. Total how much, Rana? Minus 7%. Means delta g by g percentage is 7%, we can say. So option is, option 3 is right answer. Any doubt in this? I hope you are understanding. So this type of questions they may ask, Nana. Yeah. Here see one simple question. 47 also you say, 48 also you take, any problem. All questions can be solved from that 3 rules whatever I have given about the propagation of errors. About propagation of error, whatever the problem, here you see this question number 50 you see, Nana. We know the resistance R of a wire is given as R is equal to rho L by A. A means pi R square. Yes or no? Yeah. The percentage error in the measurement of rho means delta rho by rho given. Percentage, how much, Nana? Is 1%, they said. And in the measurement of L, delta L by L given. How much, Nana? 2%. And in the measurement of R, delta R by R is how much? 3% given. Then percentage error in the measurement of R, delta R by R, how much? Question mark. So they have given R is equal to rho L by pi R square. This pi is constant, we can neglect it. From this third rule of propagation of error, we can write delta R by R is equal to delta rho by rho plus delta L by L plus 2 times of delta R by R. That's it. Delta rho by rho is 1%. plus delta L by L is 2%, plus 2 times of delta R by R is 3%. Total 1 plus 2, 3, plus 2 3 is 6. Total is 9%. Where the 9% is? Option 2, right answer. Got it, students? Yes, Nana? Are you understanding? So this type of questions, Nana. So tomorrow means on Monday we are having we are taking one exam, no? So in that this type of questions, you practice more this type of questions. If you are having any doubt, just instantly you send me a message. Definitely I'll send a answer for that within time. Okay. When you are preparing, if you get any difficult question, just send me a message. That question screenshot you send, I'll send a solution for that. Okay. So this type of problems you practice more on this. And one more, on screw gauge and vernier calipers also we have solved some problems, Nana. Screw gauge and vernier calipers also we have solved some problems. Okay, that problems also you practice. Okay, screw gauge and vernier calipers, you did experiments, no? Whatever the formulas you have used in that experiment, that formulas only we can use to solve. Okay, on that also JE students mainly you may get some questions, practice them. Okay, and tomorrow I'll take one more class. Tomorrow I'll discuss a few points on vectors chapter. Okay, okay, Anna, bye.